Hello everyone, this is Just a Dad. Today I'm going to make some Chex Mix. I follow the recipe right off the cereal box. This is kind of a little tradition our family does, and just wanted to share it with everyone. This is pretty much everything you're going to need. You need a big container to put everything in and mix it. And then the pans are actually really important. These are air bake pans, kind of like a double wall pan. I've used normal pans and they do okay, but it just seems to taste a little better in these pans. Butter, seasoned salt, garlic powder, and onion powder, Worcestershire sauce, peanuts, all three kinds of Chex Mix, corn, rice, and wheat, and then some pretzels. I like to use the stick butter just because it's labeled. So you can just cut off how many, we need 6 tablespoons, so you can just cut it at the 6 mark. So looking at the Chex Mix recipe, we're going to need to turn the oven on 250 degrees. So we're going to do that first. We're going to go ahead and turn the oven on, get it ready to go. Got the oven on bake, 250. So the first thing I like to do is I like to make the sauce first. So I'm going to put 6 tablespoons in a container and melt it. You don't need this big of a container, but you got to be able to melt 6 tablespoons. Here's the stick butter. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then this just cuts really easy. So with the stick butter, you just peel the label off, and we're going to microwave this for about 45 seconds. So Fiona's trying to help me. Okay, so I've got the butter melted, and now we're going to add the 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce, 1½ teaspoon of seasoned salt, 3/4 of a teaspoon garlic powder, and 1/2 teaspoon of onion powder. So it's just standard Worcestershire sauce, onion powder, garlic powder, and then seasoned salt. We're going to dump that right into the melted butter. Okay, so I've got the tablespoon measuring cup, and we're going to shake up the Worcestershire sauce. And it comes out, it doesn't spill out right away. You got to kind of jiggle it. 1. I've got this other container because when we do the seasoned salt in that, it's going to kind of get all over. Okay, so I've got this teaspoon. This is kind of a little fancy one. You move, it's a pampered chef, move it up and down to get different sizes of teaspoon, but I need 1½ of seasoned salt. And it can be a little tricky. But sometimes your seasoned salt will have a big opening to put your... There's 1. There's 1/2. Okay, now we gotta do 3/4 of garlic powder. So this one's just got openings. I mean, I guess I could pop the top off, but if you can't pop the top off, have another container you can pour it over because it kind of makes a mess. Three-fourths. Okay. Then we're going to do 1/2 teaspoon of onion powder. Same thing, I can pop the top off. Reach in there, grab what you need, 1/2 teaspoon, and dump it in. Now we're going to mix this up pretty good. But it settles really quick. So even though we're mixing it right now, right before we put it on the cereal, we're going to mix it again. So we're just going to let that sit there for a minute. Okay, so we're ready for the dry cereal. So you need a cup, 1 cup measuring cup, and we're going to do 3 cups of corn, 3 cups of rice, and 3 cups of wheat. Now I do mine a little different here. Is no one likes wheat hardly, so I'll put about 2 wheat in, and then I add about 1 extra cup of rice and corn. So I'll do 4 cups of corn, 4 cups of rice, and about 1.5 cups of wheat. So one thing, make sure you get this stuff early. So this corn, rice, Chex Mix goes early at the at Walmart and different stores. So they sell out of it really quick around this time of year. 1, 2, 3, 4. One, 2, 3, 4. And now the wheat that no one likes. 1, about maybe 1.5. Calls for 1 cup of peanuts. Now I use party nuts, cocktail nuts. You can use mixed nuts, whatever your liking is. Most people don't like peanuts too, but I put them in. Then it says to use some pretzels. 1 cup of pretzels. I like to use these stick pretzels, but I like to crunch them up because they're kind of long. So I've got the stick pretzels here, and I just like to break them in half. It just kind of helps out. Okay, so I've got the cup of pretzels in, and it talks about some bagel chips or different things. This is the part of the process where I've seen, this is where you make it your own. People will add bagel chips. I've seen Cheerios in here. I've seen, so they make that Crispex. It's kind of rice and some other cereal. So, you know, this, you can play around with this. You can make this dry cereal kind of however you want, as long as you kind of follow the same proportions. So you're going to mix this dry cereal up really well. Get the peanuts, get everything kind of all mixed up. Okay, so we've got that really mixed up. I told you earlier that this kind of settles. So make sure you stir this really good. And then we're just going to drizzle it on. Just drizzle it on a little bit here and there. I mean, you can use the spoon to move it around, kind of like you're buttering popcorn or something. Just a little bit at a time. And you're not going to get every piece of cereal coated, but you do want to get as much as you can. Just keep stirring this. Just drizzle a little bit. I might be going a little bit too much. Put some back. And you're just going to keep doing this till this is all gone. Okay, so now we're ready to put it in these pans. And you know, these pans measure, so yeah, about 15 by about 10 wide. So that's a pretty standard baking pan. You're going to need 2 of them, and you just evenly distribute it in both of them. Then you just want to lay it flat. And now it's ready to put in the oven. And we're going to set a 15-minute timer. So every 15 minutes you got to take this out of the oven and just stir it. We're just going to stir it a little bit. You're not going to get every piece turned over, but you're going to go through the whole thing stirring it for an hour. So every 15 minutes, so 15, 30, 45. So 3 times you're going to take it out, and the final time you're going to take it out. Okay, I got my oven up to 250, and we're going to put these in the oven now. Mine only fit this way. You can put them on, I have put them on different shelves, but I like to put them on the same shelf. And we're going to stir that in 15 minutes. We're going to set a timer. I use my kitchen timer. Okay, so my 15-minute timer went off. I'm simply going to take these out. I like to use a spatula. Sometimes it just works a little better. Just kind of flip it. You know, you're not, like I said, you're not going to get them all flipped. The general idea is just so they're kind of baking in a different location. Do this one. I think this is a really important step, so you want to make sure you do this. And we're going to put them back in. And we got to set another 15-minute timer. So my Amazon Echo works really well for this. Okay, so it's been an hour, and I've taken them out and stirred them 3 times. And this is the final 15-minute timer, and I'm going to take them out. I've got the oven turned off. So I spread paper towels out on my counter, and I'm going to dump it onto the paper towels to let it cool down for just a little bit. And then I just lightly spread it. We just want these to cool down. Okay, so I'll let this cool maybe 10-15 minutes, you know, not very long. But this batch won't last long. But the good thing is, so when you buy the quantities, you can get another batch out of these boxes. And this is pretty much all you need to make it. Then I put it in an airtight container. And this is just really, really good. You can vary it up how you want it. But I like to keep the mixture the same. So the butter and the Worcestershire sauce and all that, I like to keep that the same as the recipe. But you can change the dry part. So again, this is Just a Dad. If you could, please like and subscribe. And thank you for watching.